Mm. Hello, everyone. So today we are going to demonstrate Sparkstore. So this is an e-commerce store for electronic items. So we are group 7 and we are going to demonstrate this. Today's agenda is mostly we are going to give a brief about architecture and the product features and a demo of it. So we have a 3-tier architecture. Basically, we have 3 different roles: admin, a buyer, and a seller. So each one of them interact with the user interface. So this is built on HTML and JS. And the backend, the business logic exists here, and this is where it was built in Node.js. And finally, all the data operations were built in MySQL. And this is the 3-tier architecture which we have followed. And we have a role-based authentication system, so multiple users can log in. Now, we are going to demonstrate both the backend and the front-end features. And in the backend, we are going to demonstrate particularly all these features. So in the backend, we have categorized all the users as this. So buyer will be indicated as U, a seller will be indicated as S, and an admin with an A. So we have a user collection management. So we have single user roles. Those are nothing but single privileged users where he might be a user or a seller, or it might be a multi-privileged role. So where the user might be a seller also, a seller might be an admin also. And we have an encryption policy all over it, and we are not going to store any kind of sensitive information without hashing. So even we cannot, an admin cannot see it. And finally, we also have APIs for accessing different collection. We have unauthorized APIs for viewing the products. We have authorized API to adding the cart, deleting it, and also multiple authorization APIs for other things. So I'm going to walk you through the backend workflow and finally also the front end workflow of it. So let me jump into my front end, my backend Postman collection. Now, this will be creating a user. So this is how we are going to demonstrate a single user collection. So now I'm creating a user called Chaitanya with this as his primary email. This is his alternate email. Now let me just click send, and you can see user Chaitanya has been created. This is how we create a single user with user privileges. And now let's say I'm going to create a seller. This is going to be the endpoint for it. So this is our base URL. This is a basic endpoint so that we could host multiple versions. This is the actual resource, and this is the actual function endpoint which is being called. So now when I create it, you can see the seller 3 has been created. This is the seller name we have. Now we can also create multi-user roles, as we said. So let me say if I have multi-user called Giles this, and we are giving him user U and S privileges. So he might be a seller and also an user. And let me give it. Now you can see the multi-user 2 has been created. This has been the case. Now let me say if I have an email for of let's say Chaitu. Let me say if I have this email and I want to retrieve all this information. Now let me try to send it, and you can see unauthorized. So since I don't have any authorization token being passed, it cannot be. And even though if I have somebody emails, it is not authorized. So let me just try to delete a user. Let me just delete the authorization token right now. Now, if I say it is unauthorized, so only admins have privileges to see user information or delete information. So let's try to log in with the user and demonstrate if I'm able to see the information. Now I have logged in with this. So whenever I logged in, we have this is our post response. So we'll have a message saying login is successful. This is the token for currently, and we have a refresh token. This is nothing but the login tokens will always be refreshed. So even somebody gets an access to this token, it will not be for long. And this is the user ID and the role which we have. So this is the user role we have. Now let me try to see if I'm with the user role U, I'm able to see information about some other one person. Let me see. Let me try to get Chaitu@gmail, which I'm not. And let me see. You can see unauthorized even though I'm role. So admin role will only access. Now let me say login with an admin privilege. Now you can see this is my admin privilege login. Let me just copy this admin privilege login and see even if I'm able to log in right now with an admin privilege. So now if I try to get, I can get the information about the user. You can see the user information such as password are not able to be by the admin itself. They're encrypted and stored, and this is the role access of it. Now let me try to delete a user. Let me try to delete a user 225. Now if I don't have it will be unauthorized, and let me say with this click. Now you can see the user has been deleted successfully. So this is the login workflow with this. Now let me revert back to a logging it with the user privileges. So this is my new refresh token. I also have logout features. This is nothing but it will just delete the corresponding expiry of this. Now get products is an unauthorized request. So we don't need to pass in any kind of thing. So I'm not passing in any kind of authorization request, and I'm trying to fetch this, and you can see the products has been there. So even getting a product with a particular ID is also unauthorized. And you can see I've able to get this product. Now I can also fetch products with respect to a particular category also. Let me say I'm only trying to fetch category of audio, and we're able to get it here. Now, whenever I try to add to cart, now this is an authorized request. So let me just remove it and try to add it, and it will not add it. You can see it is unauthorized. Now, whenever I pass in, and I have to pass in the product which I'm adding. So this is my user, and this is the product, and this is the how much of quantity I'm adding to it. Now, when I pass it, you can see the product, if it is already in the cart and it says product is already in the cart. Now, let me say I put into this a different product. You can see the product has already been. So there are enough validation to it so that multiple products or no duplicates exist in the cart. Now, whenever I try to get something from the cart of this particular user, let me see, I am able to see the products and all the product data in it. Now, this is the user token with respect to this particular card. Now, let me try to see, get somebody else's card. And now you can see user can only be, we have authorization saying that you can only check for this. But if I give it an admin token, he'll be able to access it. Now, delete from the card in a similar fashion. If I have to delete, I can just delete from the card. You can see the product will be deleted. I can also update the card. Let me say I want to update my quantity to 4. And this is also an authorized request. This is the corresponding body for it. And you can see quantity will be updated in the cart. Now, let's say if I have to update my cart, let's say if I only have 10 of these and I update it to 40, and now once I try to do it, let me update it. Now it has been updated. Now when I try to validate it, now you can see the product is out of stock and you will see a corresponding error message. So we have performing corresponding validations. Now when the user goes back and updates it, let's say to product 2, now it will become completely updated. And now when I try to retrieve it, you can see we are giving a subtotal. This is the cost of it. We have calculating the delivery fee here. It is 0, it is nearby. And now we are calculating the tax of it. We have a typical business policy of 10% of tax. And we are giving 0 discount. So there was no coupon applied. And this is the total. And this is a product list of which has been in the order. So now we are here, we are able to get the card, delete the card, and finally we are checking out. Now we are going to demonstrate the coupons also, but in the UI. Now, if I try to fetch card of some other person, let me say, you can also see the user will only be able to access his own card and will not be able to tamper with other cards. Adding a product and deleting a product are buyer privileges. It is nothing but these are the parameters needed: the product, the brand, the category of it. And you also need corresponding authorization token for it. In the interest of time, we are just gonna show it to you, and he can also. Now, once the user has checked out the card, he can always go to the payment gateway. And now once I say payment gateway, the user will be given the payment options. The pop-up comes up and says he can either approve the payment or decline the payment. So now once say the payment gateway process it and says approve the payment will be successful and user will be, and the further steps like placing the order will take place. Now, if the payment is declined in some fashion of because of there might be any other issue or zip code issue, it will be declined, and we have corresponding header or endpoint to handle it. Now, once the payment is successful, and finally, then you will be able to get this of. You can see, you can get the orders of it. Finally, the order will be added. And finally, as per an end user, I can also see what all the orders I have with respect to my endpoint. And you can see that these are my corresponding orders for this. So this is with respect to the front end of hello, all. Continuing with the front end demo of the Sparkstore. So we're going to demonstrate all the backend features, user roles, homepage, add to cart, checkout, and placing an order. So let me just dive into the user. So this is the Sparkstore user interface. This is the first thing which comes up. Now you can see I'm not logged in. You can say login and sign up. Now let me just open a product. This is just unauthorized series. So let me just view the product. You can see here. I can also see some reviews of this product here. Okay. Now let me just try to log into this. I'll use the previous login which I have created. So now you can see the products have been loaded again. Now let me just try to go and order this. I have some products in the cart. Let me just go and add this to the cart. Let me just go into the cart and see. Now I can see this is not needed for me. Let me just remove. This is also not needed. Now this is the total subtotal of it. Now I have $20,000 tax and this. Now let me check this out. Now once I click checkout, I'll have some fields to enter. I have like the first name, last name. I have all these things to be entered again. This is the billing address. And this is the address, and you can see the subtotal here, the shipping charges, and the final total here. Now, if I check my credit card, my payment, let me just list this. It'll redirect me to a card number. This is my thing. And now let me enter my card details. Now let me do this. Let me enter the expiry, enter the CVV, and the final card holder's name. And once I pay from the end user, you can see the cart is being plated. You can see the cart items are being neglected. Let me just go continue shopping here. Now as I have this, now I can also post a review for this product. Okay. I can rate this. I can. So a user can buy this, only review the products which you have already bought, and I can just post it, and you can see the review is being posted here. So this is with respect to user workflow. I can just say log out, and finally I'll be redirected to the logout page. There are also the filter options here. Now if I go back to the home page, there are also filter options here which are for user to it. There is also a search option. Now this is with respect to the user view. Let me also dive into the seller dashboard. So in the interest of time, I have already logged in as a seller. So this is my home page of the seller. The first card shows how many orders he has and how many is the pending orders, what are the completed orders, and all the orders tables he have. Now, as a seller, if I want to add a product, I have a form to it. I can just add it. Let me just give it Samsung Galaxy. Brand is Samsung. Let me say available days in stock. There are about 300 units. This category is mobile and all this. So once I do this and submit, it's going to be added. So this is with respect to the buyer workflow. So there are multiple more features, but in the interest of time, we are stopping it. So we have covered all these user roles, homepage, add to cart reviews, and coupons and all this stuff, placing an order. Okay, so let me also buy a product with a coupon. Now let me add login. Oh, this is for the sign up page. Now once I go, I will have login. Let me again buy this product. Let me add it to the cart. And you can see here, I have a validation to enter a coupon. Let me first enter an invalid coupon. You can see it will invalidate it. Now if I enter a valid coupon again, it will discount and the rest of the process is as seen as we have done. We just wanted to demonstrate it. So this is with respect to validate coupon, payment, and placing an order. So we are containerized this, so we can also scale it to any number of users as we can scale it to Kubernetes. And for the future scope, we want to push it to a Docker registry and also push it to the cloud with the Kubernetes cluster. So it'll be highly available for any number of users. Thank you for the demo.